symbols carved by Thokpa's hands over the years. Then one of the hunters stumbled upon a massive footprint embedded in the dirt floor of the cave. What's this? Crag exclaimed, crouching to examine it. The print was enormous, unlike anything they had ever seen. This has to be it, a monster's foot? Oh, yes. As they pressed further into the cave, their unease grew. The shadows seemed to stretch and twist around them, and the distant sound of dripping water tip, 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 echoed like whispers. Finally, the flashlights caught a glimpse of a towering figure. Thokpa had been resting in a corner, hidden among the rocks, but now he stood to his full height, his massive frame illuminated in the beams of light. It's the Yeti! It's the Yeti! It's the Yeti! One of the hunters screamed, Run! Run! Run as fast as you can! Panic seized the group, and they bolted for the cave entrance, their shouts ringing through the dark passages. Startled and confused, Thokpa followed, his heavy foot shaking the ground. Top, 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 top. He didn't want to harm them, but their fear was palpable, and it stirred something deep within him, a yearning to make them understand he was not their enemy. By the time the hunters reached their camp, the sky had darkened, the bonfire crackled, casting flickering shadows across the tent. Thokpa stopped just beyond the edge of the clearing, watching as the hunters gathered around the fire, clutching their weapons and speaking in hushed tones. Oh God, like this. He longed to approach them, to explain himself, but he knew his appearance would only terrify them further. The hunters eventually settled in for the night, their nerves frayed, but their curiosity unquenched. After dinner, they drifted into uneasy sleep, their dreams filled with visions of the towering figure they had encountered. The next morning, determination replaced fear. They decided to resume their search, emboldened by the idea of capturing proof of the Yeti's existence. As they retraced their steps, one of them, a younger man named Sam, noticed something peculiar near the remnants of their bonfire. A large footprint. A large footprint? Similar to the one they had seen in the cave. He was here last night, Sam said, his voice trembling with awe. The others exchanged uneasy glances, their unease mounting. As they spread out to search, another hunter, Mia, heard a faint sound. It was a low, mournful wail, carried on the wind. Following the sound, she found herself near a secluded grove where she saw Thokpa sitting on a boulder, his massive shoulders hunched, his head bowed. To her astonishment, the Yeti was crying. Gathering her courage, Mia approached cautiously. Why are you crying? She said to him, her voice gentle, and she asked Thokpa about why is Thokpa crying. Thokpa looked up, his eyes wide with surprise. For a moment he considered retreating, but there was something in Mia's tone that gave him a pause. Taking a deep breath, he spoke, his voice deep filled with sorrow. I cry because I am alone, he said, because I am feared and hunted, judged by my appearance. No one sees my heart. They only see a monster. Mia's heart ached at his words. You are not a monster, she said. You are amazing, but the stories people tell have made them afraid. Thokpa nodded. I have lived here for many years, harming no one, yet when humans see me, they run. I only wish for peace. If you can tell my story to the world, let them know I'm not what they think. Let them know I have a good heart. Moved by his plea, Mia promised she would do her best to help him. She returned to the camp and shared what she had learned. At first, the others were skeptical, but her sincerity and the Yeti's words stirred something within them. Over the next few days, the hunters stayed in the jungle, observing Thokpa from a distance and slowly earning his trust. They saw how he cared for the creatures, for the forest, how he lived in harmony with his surroundings. Gradually, their fear gave way to respect and admiration. When the time came for them to leave, Thokpa stood at the edge of the jungle, watching as they packed their equipment. Will you remember what I said? He asked Mia. She nodded. We'll tell your story. The world needs to know the truth about you. As the hunters made their way back to civilization, they carried with them not just tales of the Yeti, but a message of understanding and acceptance. Mia, true to her words, wrote about their encounter, sharing Thakpa's story to the world. Her account sparked a movement, challenging people to look beyond appearances and question their fears. Thakpa remained in his cave, content in the knowledge that his voice had been heard, and though he continued to live in solitude, he no longer felt so alone, for he knew there were those who saw him for who he truly was, a gentle giant with a heart as vast as mountains he called home.